Cinematography is the use of the science or art of motion picture photography by recording light or other electromagnetic radiation, either electronically by means of an image sensor, or chemically by means of a light-sensitive material such as film stock. Please type out cinematography. Very good. Now please say it out loud. Cinematography.
Cinematography.
Very good.
Hello, and welcome to the second installment of Nick Cage-a-thon. Nick Cage-a-thon is a series where we just watch Nicolas Cage movies and that's it.
Bogart was the best, the king.
I picked out 3 today. Before we start, let's issue some corrections from the previous Nicolas Cage episode. First of all, these lifeboats are real. World War II buffs, let me know. And secondly, I called Paul Schrader, dude, just stick to writing. One of the writers. Meanwhile, he just directed the best movie that came out this year, First Reformed. So, sincere apology. So when you want to zoom in, I'm just teaching the guy directing this movie how to direct a movie. When you want to... I'm not going to defend Dog Eat Dog at all, because Dog Eat Dog is awful. But I can't deny that the guy's a talented director. This is strike 1 for Ralph the Movie Maker. 3 strikes and I delete my channel. Hey listen, no one can be right all the time, you know? Except Alex Jones.
Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Nick Cage fact of the day. Every Nick Cage-a-thon, we're going to have a Nick Cage fact of the day. Did you know his acting technique is called
Nouveau Shamanic?
I think Nicolas Cage is the creator of this acting technique, using normal human language as an exercise in futility.
So what I would do is I'd put on Afro-Caribbean paint, like a white and black paint, and black out my eyes so I look like this sort of Afro-Caribbean voodoo icon.
The guy is a meme generator.
And then I would sew in bits of Egyptian artifacts that were thousands of years old into my costume and gather some onyx.
He's an internet legend. You Google his name and you find pages upon pages of just memes. So let's start with this film. It's called Outcast. The film stars Hayden Christensen, best known for playing Anakin Skywalker in the Star Wars prequels.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Top-notch acting there, Hayden. And Nicolas Cage, of course.
You're the outlaw they call the White Ghost?
I am the White Ghost. But no one calls me outlaw, child. Not to my face!
What a pairing. When I saw this poster, which is fucking awesome, by the way, look at this badass poster. When I saw this poster, I was like, I can't wait to see Hayden Christensen and Nicolas Cage just going around, chopping people's heads off. It'll be like a buddy road trip movie.
Blackguards are as thick as flies on a farting goat's ass because of you. You brought them here. How'd you find me, lad?
But that's not what we got at all. It's boring, it makes no sense, and Nicolas Cage is barely in it. And come on, that's why we're watching these, right?
And you may come down from this mountain, a free man.
Oh, I don't know. In my experience, those who climb to the top only ever remember they got there by their own
What's with
effort.
this rubber snake that Nicolas Cage is carrying around? Did he just bring that to set? Like, oh, this is my character thing. I idolized Nicolas Cage, so I got myself a rubber snake that I'm going to carry with me from now on. His name is Samuel the Snake. He's replacing Hendrix now. Fuck that little twerp.
There are women and children in there, Jacob. They won't be harmed. They will be harmed.
Nicolas Cage puts on this amazing, authentic accent.
Haven't you had enough of this killing for hypocrite priests? We do God's work. The blood we spill here is on our blades, our souls.
It's so good, you can't even figure out what it's supposed to be.
You know, I swore an oath to your father.
The trailers and marketing make it look like Nicolas Cage is in it a lot. He's like top billing in the cast. The trailer makes it seem like Nick Cage is in it a lot. And then you watch the movie, and most of the movie is just a bunch of Asian actors and a white guy with an out-of-fashion haircut walking around the woods. And occasionally they get into an awful sword fight. So you wanna know what really kills this movie? It's not Nicolas Cage. It's the cinematography. We're going all over the place. Like, look here. All this scene is a guy walks into a room and talks to the Emperor.
Lord Xing.
Majesty, how many of your fellow generals will offer support to the boy?
This entire scene should be 5 different angles. Take a look at this scene from Game of Thrones. Very similar scene.
You've been holding the council meetings in the Tower of the Hand instead of the small council chamber.
I have, yes.
May I ask why?
Well, the Tower of the Hand is where I work.
There isn't excessive cutting. We cut to close-ups when it makes sense, when the scene is getting intense. We stay on one side of the room. And here we're like, we're on the right side now, and now we're on the left side, and now we're head on, and then we're back on the left side. It's like, what the hell is going on? The action is boring. You can't even make out what's happening. They usually do this in movies when either the actors don't know how to fight, or the choreography isn't good. Or both. It's just Dutch angles for no reason. It was so distracting. I kept leaning my head while I was watching it like this. Like my brain had to adjust to the Dutch angle, so I had to watch the whole movie like this. Can you imagine watching a whole movie like this? So this is an American, Chinese, Canadian production. It's made by ArcLight Films. I went to their website, which is great, by the way. I love this bright orange background. These are also the guys who produced First Reformed and Dog Eat Dog, another Nick Cage movie we talked about. You know, it's all starting to connect. The pieces are coming together. So they shot the movie in China, they got a bunch of Chinese actors to be in it, and then they got Nicolas Cage to show up for a day, and they shot all of his scenes, and then they got Hayden Christensen to be in the rest of it, and they're like, alright, you're the white guy, just act like the white guy so we can sell this movie in America.
That is my request of you.
Father, no one will follow me.
They will, because you will be king.
Why is everyone speaking English? Okay, so this movie's bad, obviously. It doesn't have a lot of Nick Cage in it. There are some good Nick Cage moments.
You want my blood? You want my blood?
Hey, Nick, we don't have any moves for you to do, so you're just gonna improvise, and we'll just shake the camera and cut quickly, and it'll look fine. There's this badass battle toward the end, where Nick Cage has to fight off this entire army, and you'd think that'd be a challenge for him, but nah. Not for Nick Cage, dude. He just runs at him like, ah! So this is a film called Mom and Dad. The plot of Mom and Dad is that some virus breaks out that makes parents want to kill their kids. Only their kids, not other people's kids. So Selma Blair and Nicolas Cage team up to kill their children. There's also another fantastic scene where Nick Cage's parents try to kill him.
Mom, Dad, listen.
The film is directed by Brian Taylor, one of the guys who directed Crank 1 and 2, which are the best movies ever made. And now one of them brings us Mom and Dad. And I like this movie a lot, actually. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's gonna make you cry or anything. Not like National Treasure 2, which just always makes me tear up. I thought the opening credits were great. They're clearly an homage to movies from the 70s and 60s. I like how Brian Taylor shoots violence in this movie. He has like these weird techno sounds going on in the background, and it's a lot of cutting and shaky cam, but there's weight to it. I guess it's the sound design that helps with that too. It looks so brutal, and it looks like it hurt a lot. There's this scene where Nick Cage falls down. Like, holy shit, that looked like it hurt. Selma Blair does a great job. The kids are pretty good. The characters had chemistry. The interactions between the parents and the kids felt very genuine within the context of this movie's over-the-top universe. It didn't feel like a bunch of actors just reciting lines, but I like the characters, and I like Nicolas Cage's character in this. This washed-up, middle-aged man whose best years are behind him, and he thought he would be so much more when he was younger, but now he's just a mediocre dad. I like that dynamic, and that's ultimately the point of the movie. These parents are just frustrated living an average life. So they just take it out on their kids. Of course, there's literally a virus that's making them kill their kids. But on a more thematic level, it's a movie about parents wanting to tear down their family life, their kids, their work, that same structure they've become accustomed to. I think that's really well done. There's some really good Nick Cage moments in here. Nick Cage is great in this, not in the he's actually good way.
But if you ever touch that car again, I'll fucking kill you.
But in a completely over-the-top way.
Motherfuckers! You're going to open this motherfucking door!
He just has these little nuances in his performances I love. What was that? And if you want to watch Nick Cage build a pool table, this is the movie for you.
He ran away! Run, Flat, run!
And also, if you want to see Nick Cage destroy a pool table, this is the movie for you.
Oh, yeah! You put your right foot in! You take your right foot out! You do the hokey and you fucking work it all out!
He gives a very emotional performance. Lots of crying, lots of screaming.
Build a fucking family room!
Lots of anger.
Okay, mister, I'll eat the dinner in the fridge.
Fuck you. Yeah, okay, that's great.
So yeah, Mom and Dad, actually pretty good movie. Samuel the Snake here gives it a 3 out of 5.
Best to enact as if you know what you're saying, but really you know nothing. You thing of the struggles of men, but when you find out the horrors that await you one day, I'm standing by the side laughing. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Now, we're up to Nick Cage-a-thon 2, and I haven't shown you guys classic Cage. If you had just seen Nick Cage-a-thon 1 and 2 up to this point, you'd be like, what's the big deal with Nick Cage? Yeah, so what, he fought in World War II. So what, he was in Desert Storm. So what, he has the Purple Heart. What's special about this guy? Well, to tell you what's so special about him, we're gonna have to go back to a film called Vampire's Kiss. You know those Nicolas Cage compilations where it's just him being crazy? 50% of these montages are made up of scenes from Vampire's Kiss.
How could somebody misfile something? What could be easier? It's all alphabetical. You just put it in the right file, according to alphabetical order. You know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Peter.
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P,
Peter.
Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Huh? That's all you have to do.
Very good. You know your alphabet.
I never misfiled anything. Not once, not one time.
Is of course this classic meme.
I couldn't think of a more horrible job if I wanted to. And you have to do it. You have to, or I'll fire you. Do you understand?
This is just a really brave performance. And I mean that sincerely. This guy puts himself out there in this movie. He goes from a completely, well, not a completely normal guy, to a completely disturbed nut job running across the street with a wooden stake covered in blood, screaming, "I'm a vampire, kill me."
I'm a vampire. Kill me. Kill me.
You get to see Nick Cage fight off a bat on a string. You get to see Nick Cage torture his secretary for absolutely no reason. And it starts out pretty tame, but the psychological torture gets more and more aggressive as it goes along.
There you are!
What the hell is he doing in here?
I hope this old woman got nominated for an Oscar for this performance.
What the fuck is going on?
In what other movie can you see Nick Cage put plastic vampire teeth in his mouth, then chase a pigeon around a park before putting it in his coat and then eating it? And no Nick Cage performance is complete without a kind of weird accent that sounds like it's a mix of British and American and something else from a country you've never heard of.
You know, I was in Mortal Kombat with a fucking bat. Give me a break.
I don't know what it is, but it's beautiful.
Hey, do I get waited on today or what? I've been sitting here for 15 minutes.
Right away, sir.
So this is a legitimately great movie. Nicolas Cage's performance is fantastic.
Holy shit.
The filmmaking, although it's very laid back and not very stylized, it's competent. And I like how lived in and real everything felt. Nothing felt like a set. Everything felt like it took place in the city. I like the cityscape in the background of the psychiatrist office. I like that Nicolas Cage's apartment in the film feels like a real apartment. You can see cars in the street passing by. And I like the topic this movie is exploring. I know it's a dumb movie with Nicolas Cage acting like an idiot. Really what this movie is about is a lonely guy who can't find love. The reason he can't find love is pretty clear. He's a very unlikable guy.
I want to know, really, who did fucking grease him? That goddamn contract is somewhere in those goddamn fucking files!
So he falls in love with this fictional vampire he creates in his head, because he's a crazy person. The movie dials it up to 11, and it's extremely comical, but it knows it's comical. And I love that even the fake relationships he creates in his head don't pan out, because even in this fictional reality he's created, he's still a dick.
Sharon. God damn it! What did I just say?
I do think Vampire's Kiss is a really good movie, and I highly recommend it. Nick Cage has given better performances, but if you want just a pure Nick Cage meme performance, this has to be the best one. And those are all the movies. We did it. You know what that means. Well, that's it for Nick Cage-a-thon, for now. But I had a good time. I hope you had a good time too. It's a shame we won't be seeing each other for a while. But just remember to do your morning prayers to Nicolas Cage every day. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.